Good afternoon. Welcome to Gaming Today, episode 19. My name is Ade Adesanya, and as usual, I'm joined by Tosin Additional, otherwise known as Powerful FJ. Tosin, how you doing? How's your day been?
Yes, it's been quite interesting. The rains have been pouring, albeit in small showers or light showers, would you call it? And well, it's quite been interesting as well. We take the showers as a blessing. So, yes, definitely it's a blessing, and can't wait to get started on the program today.
All right, so our first piece of news will be coming to Africa, and even though I have a problem with classification of Middle East and North Africa, they call it the MENA region. It's a little bit annoying for me, if I must say. But the news is that Anubis Gaming have secured $300,000 in latest seed funding round. So, Egyptian esports organization Anubis Gaming has secured $300,000 in its latest round of seed funding. So, the regional e-commerce group is the source of this investment, which comes after a separate seed round last month. So, Anubis also raised $100,000. Um, Good one for an esports organization in Africa. Esports Insider, which are the source of this news, say $300,000 is a hefty amount of money to draw in, especially from a group of regional investors. It's refreshing to see money come from the region and feed into its own esports scene, rather than investors looking elsewhere or esports organizations relying on global investment hubs to stay afloat. Strong local partnerships can help build awareness, knowledge, and further investment interest from other regional investors. Tosin, the Egyptians are gradually, you know, setting the mood to be within the consciousness and be in the conversation for investments into esports. This is a big move on the African continent. Most of the news you hear in esports on the African continent is more or less always restricted to South Africa and maybe a little bit of East Africa, but at least the guys in North Africa are kicking the door in now and showing that they should be given recognition.
To an extent, I actually don't see North Africa as part of Africa, and I think they kind of even have to with the Arab world as well. So, I mean, we can say it's good investment for them, but it's quite clear that they're even ahead in a lot of things. South Africa is one country I also almost don't concern as count as African because you look at them technically they're closer to Australasia and New Zealand in terms of development and they even have in sports in rugby and cricket there is a partnership in terms of the leagues in South Africa and Australia and New Zealand. So more or less you're looking at the Central and West Africa alongside East Africa and to an extent some regions in Southern Africa as the one where there should be a lot of development. And I think you would perhaps think that the development in South Africa would rub off on Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Botswana, and Lesotho, and the likes. But perhaps it's not just like that. Given that Lesotho is even landlocked in South Africa as well, and then you also look at the fact that you think that the development in the MENA would perhaps feature, filter into countries like Senegal, Gambia, and the likes. But it's not like that. And well, it's as positive as it is for this move. I still think that West Africa in itself needs to take the bull by the horn, and there needs to be a bold move from someone on the field of investment.
I agree with you that individually the respective regions need to you know um, get their acts together and start putting on a lot of activity. I think with a lot of activity, we'll see a lot of interest. It is until those activities come into play that the interest can follow through. I think that, and these are conversations that we've had in our smaller groups. I think that the esports space, the esports industry in Nigeria, especially, aren't making enough noise. You're not blowing your trumpets enough. If Akitajo, who's joining us on the show, the African, shared a Call of Duty league with us that had, I think, three divisions or something, with as many as 20 teams in all those, and that's like 60 teams. And we're asking, where are they? Who are these people? We don't hear about them. What kind of, what kind of noise are they making? Who knows what is going on? So these are some of the things. I think it's until these things happen, until we make enough noise, blow the trumpet as much as possible, then we can be taken serious. I think that is what needs to be done. There needs to be a lot more noise in the industry or across the industry for for us to be taken seriously. For the next piece of news, interestingly, I'm always looking for news related to partnerships, investments, sponsorship across the world. Hey, we're also into that. As you know, the mobile games tournament for October is on the way. So please, we're still looking for sponsors to support our our drive to push mobile gaming in Nigeria and across Africa. So, United Kingdom-based organization Audacity Esports has entered a partnership with Italian sportswear Kappa. The deal brokered by sponsorship agency Van Hawk Sports will see Kappa supply Audacity's rosters with jerseys. So we've had Gucci do Fanatics. We've had, Under Armour coming. We've had Nike doing some apparel. So Kappa are also coming into the esports space with a UK team called Audacity Esports. So who knows? Maybe we'll get the likes of. I feel like if I mention their name, it would be free advert for them on the local scene. Maybe we can get them to, to look at
I,
kitting. Well, we don't even have esports teams in Nigeria, so let me not deceive myself. But that's a big one for Kappa coming into the industry and gradually, getting a potential foothold. All you need is one team, then the rest can fall into place.
yeah, I don't think on the front of the one that you spoke about, I don't think he's even ready to develop on the sports scene. Not to talk of the esports
He
scene.
hasn't
Someone
even
who's not got
gotten regular sports.
if you are not getting it right at regular sports level, then how much more esports? If he gets serious competition or someone who definitely knows his onions and is definitely an outlier, he's gonna get inside and perhaps he might never get in terms of football clubs to do stuff for again. But um, I think the partnerships really mean something good. If you consider the fact that uh, organizations like Kappa, Nike, Adidas, Gucci, and the likes are looking at esports and they're investing in it. It's a serious one, and I think this is something that if you continue to look at the African landscape and you're wondering how many Adidas stores do you have in Nigeria, how many Nike stores do you have in Nigeria, how many outlets do you have on the general, how many Kappa outlets do you have in Nigeria, how many Umbro outlets do you have in Nigeria? It's really worrisome because it tells you that we're in serious trouble if we don't get it right ASAP because we will be left behind at the amount of catching up we had to do in football or in regular sports. We will be having to do it at esports level, and we might not be able to do that if we continue at this pace in which we're going. The problem is if there's some sort of structure in terms of esports teams in Nigeria, then I think it would be better.
Well, we can only hope for the best, and at least in our own small space, we will do our best to contribute and ensure that things change somewhat and things head in the right direction. Um, Another piece of news, like I said, I'm always particular about news related to partnership, sponsorship, and investment. Guild Esports plan an IPO Of course, we just spoke about Kappa and the Under Armour sponsors team, SMG. Um, you know, just I don't know. I don't know. So when I see how far these guys have gone, it makes me
I think
worry. But it's fine. It's fine. Maybe I need to start ignoring news items like this, and just keep it very simple. What do you think? I think that should be maybe that's what I should be doing now.
I think for me, I think it's quite a cascading effect when you see what happens in regular sports and then it's threatening to cascade into esports. I mean, if at a global level, if at a national level, then you can see what's going on right there, and you see that at national level, if you can see the level in which our sports are going, and then you definitely can't expect too much better in terms of esports. These are people who have not gotten it right for regular sports, and you're thinking they will get it right for esports, they will bring in investment. There is no business model for esports in Nigeria. There's no business model for regular sports in Nigeria. There is no business model. The business of football, the business of gaming, the business of sports generally is dead in Nigeria. And if there is no model for the regular sport, you can imagine how long it will take for them to get it to attempt to even think of the fact that we need to have a business model. I think it's a little bit intentional in the way that the approach has been taken in terms of development of esports in Nigeria and around the world. If you are intentional about it, you will get rewards. You will get the deserved harvest. But for Nigeria, we've not even sown. We and sowing is looking like we're eons away. So I really have decided I'm going to stop myself bothering too much about it. I will just wait for us to make the move. And for those of us in our small communities that do things that try to propagate the gospel, we will keep pushing. And until when we get the results, I think perhaps they then would leave it to people who know what they're doing about it.
Well, on that note, let's just move into more proper esports activities. And last week, we saw the news that the rankings for FIFA are out, FIFA 21. And interestingly, no Nigerian player was in the top 10. Ah, Tosin,
I'm not surprised.
thanks to Shayo Olabi who put it out on Twitter, and it led to a very, very, very long, you know, conversation across board that a lot of people got into. And unfortunately, it's hard to find some of these rankings because we were looking for to get the exact rankings for two of Nigeria's top players at the moment, which is Wilfred Ndidi and Victor Osimhen. But if you're looking at the top 10, it's led by Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, who are ranked 90 each on FIFA 21 ball play for Liverpool. Uh, Keda Koulibaly of Senegal and Napoli for now. He's on 88. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is on 87 from Gabon. Riyad Mahrez from Algeria and Manchester City is 85. Hakim Ziyech, Morocco and Chelsea is 85. Onana, Ajax and Cameroon is 84. Thomas Partey is 84. Joel Matip is 83. Cameroon and Liverpool. Um, Guinean and Liverpool midfielder Keita Nebuketa is 81. So I'm asking myself, that means probably Ndidi and Victor Osimhen are 80. Joseph.
Yeah, I saw your tweet and you said it there that Ndidi should comfortably be at least an 84, 85. It's hard
Yeah.
to disagree with that. And but then you look at the fact that perhaps a lot of things are considered when it goes into rankings, performances of the players, impact of the player in the team's performances. the standing of the team themselves, and that's why you see that some clubs' ratings are more skewed on the higher side, top heavy. Looking at the teams that had the most players in the top 100, Liverpool had 10, Real Madrid had 10, Barcelona had 9, and in
Interesting.
Liverpool, who make the backbone of the Liverpool squad, you're talking about Mane, Salah, Matip. You saw Matip when he came on against Leeds United, even though it was for 4 or 5 minutes. You saw how better Liverpool's defense became when he came on. And then you talk about the fact that Naby Keita started in that game. So I think perhaps it explains that the club is considered, the club where the player plays in is considered. And I'm a little bit disturbed because I think that Audio Igalo should at least be a comfortable 81, uh, given that he plays for Manchester United and you saw his contributions to the club. But for me, I'm just livid that I know that Victor Osimhen will get there one day. He's only 21. So perhaps we might not be thinking of a ranking or rating higher than 78 or 79. But for Wilfred Ndidi, I think Ndidi should actually, I agree, should actually be a solid 83. If Partey is an 84, then I think Ndidi should be an 83. There's almost no difference between Partey and Ndidi. And perhaps that is the reason why Ndidi doesn't fit in the top 10 because Partey's ratings were that low. And I think Partey was pretty much important for Atletico Madrid in the past season when he didn't play. They looked a little bit off the pace. And if he had that low rating, then I think Ndidi shouldn't be far off. It only justifies what some people are saying. As for example, Romelu Lukaku mentioned it and said FIFA just intentionally, EA just intentionally use this rating so that they can spark up a conversation and it's free publicity for them. And then people are tempted to go on and play on foot and garner more points and let them know that these players can actually get more than these ratings. And I think it's hard to disagree.
Yeah, whilst I agree with you on some of the things that you mentioned, let me take some of the comments that are coming in. The Afro Gamer says, I think we should narrow the investment and development to sub Saharan Africa. I think I agree, minus SA, that's minus South Africa. Um, he also says that North Africa is way ahead, and South Africa too. Um, if I was to look for trouble, so I thought the Minister of Sports mentioned interest in esports and its growth. What is the update? Well, I'm not a
He
member
should
of.
switch off his mic. He should switch off his mic.
I'm not a member of that committee. He also says Nigeria and Africa is already playing catch up. We need to get it right ASAP, and I agree with that. Um, my partner on No Touch Screens, Theo Eze says, Yemi's hair gets better by the day. He should not cut his hair on show
I was
day,
going to talk
but
about it.
days, but days ahead. My wife said the same thing this morning. So, hey,
I was going to say
what
I
can
was
I
going to
say?
mention it as well.
Shayos. Sportstation says, and Jamie, you love the investment news, but you are weak because it's not happening in Africa. Shayo, I'm broke. Maybe that's what is wrong with me. Chiweze says, I hope we're not overrating the DDO. True about the club, but the individual profile matters. And that's where I want us to go next. I also think that on a personal basis, on a personal note, I think our players, Nigerian players now, need to think of doing a lot more with their
Yeah,
personal profiles, with pushing their personal
yeah,
agenda to get more recognition. When that conversation was going on last week, I said to myself, I said, I think it's because our guys seem to are not always on the front burner. They're not in the news. You don't need to be in the news for the bad reasons, but there are ways you can package yourself that you are always in the news for good reason. Probably a lot of activity, and I wanted to make a joke, but I pulled back on making that joke. I said maybe he got his rating because of his poor performance in the Premier League Invitational. But I said no, let me not say, but I've said it today. That maybe that's
no,
why he got the poor
Jo-
rating.
Jo- Jota didn't get great ratings either. So maybe and Trent Alexander-Arnold was about a solid 82 thereabouts as well. So I mean, let's cut him some slack. Let's just cut him some slack. I mean, it's not easy to get hammered
Dude.
8-2 or 8-1. So let's get, let's cut him some slack. Yeah.
So that's what I said. I said, "Ah, I mean, it's because this guy is Peter for in Premier League. Is it? we can't rate this guy, too highly. But on a more serious, I think from a marketing PR perspective, Nigerian players need to, start doing a lot more out of what the football they play. They need
I,
to social media activity, do a lot more stuff that puts them out there. That way, on a global scale, they can be more acceptable.
I think the question is how is whether they allow themselves to be marketable in the sense that they put themselves out there, just like you said. Most of them don't put themselves out there. They don't engage in conversations. They only come out when it is a generic conversation, and when the conversation is generic, then they come out and then they kind of putting their weight. You don't see them at the forefront. They're not talking about societal situations, and I think perhaps it's a
Yes,
social construct of where they've come from. When you come from where most of these guys come from or where they've grown from, you are not you're only excited that you've gotten out there, and then you try your best to help your community, and most people will say, oh, I don't want anybody to know that I'm doing this thing. And I think that also plays a part. And when everyone's trying to hide their head, you don't trust anybody. I think it does play a role as well where they've come from, and maybe perhaps that's the reason why we're not seeing that. For someone like Sadio Mane, who's been basically all about the effort and the energy, his trumpet had to be blown by the Senegalese media and perhaps a couple of people who felt, oh, this guy was working hard. He was lucky, but apart from that, I don't think any Nigerian player has gotten to that level yet, and that's why I'm really
yeah,
hoping that Wilfred Ndidi gets banging the goals, and when he does, hopefully he gets the accolades and the plaudits he deserves, and then he gets into the right conversations.
I get you. I agree with that. They need to push the envelope differently and blow their respective trumpets louder. But then, well, we just have to keep watching. On FIFA 20, I signed in the on for Hamburg, and it's currently rated 84 on that one. I'm probably very close to being a genius on FIFA 20 and career mode. Imagine signing Mbappe, Joao Felix, and Jadon Sancho all on a free. Solid, willy
Okay.
dilly. In fact, Savannah Rice has
Okay.
nothing on me.
Okay. Now that's some Agnelli. That's some Agnelli stuff. I think
I'm telling
only
you,
Andre Agnelli can pull that off. Getting
can
players
pull up
like
to
that on a free transfer.
on the free. But I did it, and it was quite interesting, that I was able to pull that off. But if I could just says about the ranking, EA is biased towards Africa as a region, and it has shown shown with ranking of its players. Well, that's a conversation for another day.
Another-
Let's move to the final segment of the show. And of course, it has to do with what we are pushing mobile games tournament. October, it's here. We're just 2 weeks out from the start of the mobile games tournament 2.0. COD Mobile. I know it's getting really, really serious. I saw some tweets on Twitter where someone was asking who is willing to sign up with me to, if I calls it Battle Royale 2v2. People are looking for partners. Follow the Afro Gamer underscore. Follow at Lagos Esports for details. If you want to register for Ludo King, Soccer Stars. Still played that yesterday. If you play table soccer as a young boy in Lagos, Nigeria, with your bottle crowns, Soccer Stars is the game for you. Interesting stuff. In fact, I think me and Tosi, maybe next week, we should play. We should try and see if we can play live on the show and show
No
people
problem.
that, I think we'll try and do that. Try and see if we can work that out to play live on the show. So Soccer Stars is another one. In fact, I was even recommending Soccer Stars to someone yesterday to download it. The guys from Miniclip need to pay me money because I I keep advertising to people to play Soccer Stars. And of course, 8 ball pool, which I have kind of abandoned for Soccer Stars lately. So please, if you want to feature, we've got a very good prize pool. 20 August, the August edition had a 250,000 naira prize pool with Alat and KFC, our sponsors. We are in the market for sponsors, so please um, contact Lagos Esports at Lagos Esports and at the Afrogamer underscore to sign in. Joseph, which game are you looking forward to on the October leg of the MGT 2.0?
Uh, I have to be honest. I'm looking forward to everyone, to all the games. I'm a huge fan of COD Mobile. I'm a huge fan of uh, of, of Soccer Stars. Perhaps that's the reason why I'm looking forward a little bit more to Soccer Stars than COD because just like I said, I did the impossible when I was playing table soccer. So it gets me excited. And somehow I spent almost a whole day a couple of weeks ago playing Soccer Stars, just relieving them in. So maybe that's the one I just want to see if I'm still good at it. But the COD mobile game definitely is one that catches my fancy because of the fact that it's a battle royale, it's 2v2, and I'm looking forward to all the communities that we've got in Nigeria. There are lots of COD communities, too many of them, and we
Yes,
want to see them come
yes.
out and
We
show
need them to
themselves.
come
That's
out.
what we want them to come out and show themselves, and that's why I'm looking forward to it more.
Yes, if you're a member of any COD community, come out, come play. Let's know that, let the world know that we have a large COD community. For the amount of information that I see, and if Akitajo does a lot of that, shows us a lot of information, I think that we should be far ahead of where we are today. But because we're not making the right noises, we're not pushing as hard as possible. That is why the industry seems to remain where it's at. So please, you want to play, please follow the Afro Gamer underscore and also at Lagos Esports for details on MGT 2.0, sign up, sponsorship, activations, what have you. Please ensure that you follow them. Sports is saying, looking forward to Soccer Stars. I should take Tosin on with this is self hype about it. Well, we are now, you have to join the queue because I made that challenge first. So you have to join the queue behind me. When I finish with Tosin, you can come and finish with him. Well, Tosin, final thoughts as we round up.
Just pleading with everyone not to take it easy with me. I'm not so good. I'm just saying that back then when I was the champion, I was champion of school when I was in the international school Ibadan. I was champion then with South
Okay.
Korea, champion of the
You
world.
were you
That
were
was me.
champion in
You know,
international school in Badon. The man, Sportasi says he
yes,
was champion international school Lagos, 1994 to 1997. Okay, oh. International school, jam international school.
perfect,
We will know who is truly international out of both of you.
perfect.
All right, so
It's
that's
perfect
our
then.
show for
Mm.
today. See you next week. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. We have a lot of content coming your way. The Football Fix NG channel on YouTube. This program also streams live on Facebook and Twitter as well as Periscope. So please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that every time we come up with any new content, you are the first to know. All right. Thank you, everybody. One last comment. Whilst Poseidon says, I have my glorious prince as a table soccer champion, ISL 1997. The Afro Gamer says, Battle of the International Schools, Lagos versus Ibadan edition. My brother, we will know who is truly international. So that's been gaming today, episode 19. My name is Adeyemi Adesoya. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.